Hi, this is Trevor with Terabyte Technical Solutions. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a virtual machine running a Linux web server on the Microsoft Azure cloud platform. The first step is going to be to head over to the Azure portal by going to portal.azure.com and putting in your credentials. The next thing is going to be to create a resource group. In order to do that, you can either hit resource group here in the Azure services. Also, it's available under favorites on your sidebar, or you can simply search for it at the top. To create a resource group, simply hit create, select your subscription, and name your resource group. Next, choose a region and hit review and create. You can click on your resource group to take a look. As you can see, there's currently nothing inside. It's completely empty. What the resource group is, it's going to be a container for your Azure resources. It's a way of deploying, updating, and deleting resources together. A resource group does not isolate your resources from other resource groups. If you have a virtual machine in one resource group, you can still network with a virtual machine in a separate resource group. Okay, the next step is going to be to create your virtual machine. To do that, you can head home and select virtual machine at the top, or you can simply search for it once again. You can see virtual machines under services. Again, we're going to go ahead and hit create and virtual machine. On this page, we're going to select our subscription. We're going to select our resource group that we just created. You're going to give your virtual machine a name. You're going to choose your region. This is going to be the geographic location of the data center in which your virtual machine is hosted. So try and choose a region that's close by in order to reduce latency. You go ahead and choose US East. Infrastructure redundancy. Availability zones are available in some of the regions, but not all of them. Basically, they are separate data centers within that region that allow you to copy your resource over for redundancy. If availability zones are available, there will be at least 3 available. This is just an option for high availability and redundancy if you need that. We're going to go ahead and choose no redundancy required. For your image, there are several options available. You can see you have your Windows 10 Pro, you have your Windows Server, 2012 R2, 16, 19. You have some Linux options. If you select See All Images, it will take you over to the marketplace, and there are a ton of options. You can also search for specific things like SQL servers. You can see there are a bunch of options if you want to use their service software as a service. You can also check out what their desktop options are. You can see there's options with pricing. We're going to head back, and I'm just going to go ahead and select the Ubuntu server Gen 2. And you can see for size, it gives you a standard option. But of course, there are lots of choices available. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the standard for this, which gives me two virtual CPUs and 8 gigs of RAM. For my account, I'm going to want to use the SSH public key. My username, I'll leave at Azure user. Going to generate a public key. and we'll just call that terabyte VM key is fine. Inbound ports, I'm going to go ahead and allow SSH and HTTP. So from here, there are some other options. You can specify disks, networking, management, advanced. If you go ahead and just create the machine, it will give you some default options. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. All right, you can see your price about 10 cents per hour. It's giving me a warning that there is a SSH port open facing the public. We're okay with that in this test environment. And then you have your other details here. We go ahead and click create. Download private key and create resource. You can see in the top right hand corner, deployment is in progress. It's pretty quick on a small deployment like this. Okay, your deployment is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the resource group that we created and see what we have. So back in the YouTube resource group, you can see it has created a virtual machine. It also created a public IP address for us. It put us in a network security group, and it gave us a virtual NIC. This is the disk it created. This is our encryption key, and this is the virtual network. You can also take a look at the JSON view for your resource group. As well as the JSON view for your virtual machine. This is very useful in case you want to deploy the same machine in the same way, or you're doing mass deployments. Okay, so now we need to connect to our virtual machine. In order to do this, I'm going to open a PowerShell connection on my local desktop. They do offer a solution called Cloud Shell, which allows you to use PowerShell or Bash directly in the Azure portal. But since I do have my desktop here, I'm just going to go ahead and do it locally. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a command to SSH into my virtual machine. Okay, so this is the command. It's the SSH with the I switch. This is the actual location of the encryption key that I downloaded on my local computer, the username, and the public IP address that I got. Alright, it's just going to ask me if I'm sure I want to connect. Yes. Alright, and there you go. You are connected to your virtual machine running on your Windows Azure cloud. You can see the Ubuntu documentation, your system load, memory usage so far, processes that are running, and then you can see you got that virtual NIC and your private IP address. The next thing I'm going to want to do is just run some updates on this server really quickly. Okay, creating updates. And then I'm going to install the web server directly onto the server. In this case, I'm going to use the nginx web server. And there you go, it's as easy as that. You now have nginx installed and running on your Linux web server that is hosted in your Microsoft Azure cloud. The next thing you can do is you want to make sure that everything's running correctly. If you go back and check and see what your public IP address was, and then you can just take a look in a web browser, and as you can see at your location, the nginx web server is up and running successfully. This is a brand new YouTube channel, so please do like and subscribe. It would help us out a lot, and I hope you enjoyed.